On a calm morning inside a small municipal courtroom, a case began that looked ordinary, almost forgettable. A simple traffic violation. A man standing alone. A judge reviewing a file that seemed routine. But what no one knew, not the courtroom staff, not the spectators, not even the judge herself, was that this hearing would turn into one of the most emotional and powerful moments ever seen inside this building. A moment that would change one man's fate and leave the entire courtroom silent. Scene 1, the arrival, 0:46 to 1:55. The door opened slowly. A nervous man stepped inside, his shoulders tense, his eyes unfocused, his hands trembling as he approached the bench. His name, Daniel Carter, a 32-year-old auto mechanic with no criminal history. He looked like someone who worked hard, slept little, and carried far more weight on his heart than anyone around him could see. The judge studied him carefully. Something was off. This wasn't the usual defendant who rushed a red light because they were late, distracted, or careless. No. This man looked like he was carrying a storm inside him. Scene 2, the question, 1:56 to 3:20. The judge leaned forward. Judge. Mr. Carter, before I decide anything today, I want to hear your side. What happened that morning? Daniel swallowed hard. A deep breath. Silence. The courtroom watched him, confused, curious, unsure. He opened his mouth to speak, but no words came out. His chin trembled. His eyes burned. His voice cracked as he tried again. And finally he whispered, Daniel, Your Honor, I wasn't running late. I wasn't ignoring the law. I was trying to save a life. Immediately, the room shifted. Heads lifted. Eyes widened. This wasn't a normal case anymore. Scene 3, the reveal, 3:21 to 5:05. Daniel. That morning on Highway 22, I saw a car flipped over on its roof. Smoke pouring out. A woman screaming. His voice broke as he relived the moment. Daniel. I pulled over. I ran to her. I didn't think about the red light. I didn't think about anything. I just knew. If I didn't act, if I waited even one more minute, she was going to die. A faint gasp spread across the courtroom. Daniel. I crawled inside the car. Her seatbelt was jammed. The fire was getting closer to the front. She kept crying that she had a little boy at home. He wiped his eyes. Daniel. I ripped the belt loose. I dragged her out. I burned my arm doing it, but she lived. The courtroom fell quiet. Even the officers standing along the wall stopped moving. The man facing a traffic violation was actually a hero who had never told a soul. Scene 4, the court goes silent, 5:06 to 6:10. The judge closed the case file slowly, as if the weight of the story suddenly made the paper feel heavier. Her eyes softened. Her voice lowered. Judge. Mr. Carter, why didn't you say this earlier? Why didn't you tell the officer? Or anyone? Daniel's answer shook the room. Daniel. Because I don't like being called a hero. I just did what I hoped someone would do if it were my sister. Or my mom. I don't want credit. I just want to go back to my life. A quiet emotional wave passed across the courtroom. This wasn't a criminal. This was a man who risked his life. For a stranger. With no expectation of reward. Scene 5, the judge's decision, 6:11 to 7:30. The judge took a long breath, looked down at her notes, then looked back at Daniel with an expression that carried both admiration and disbelief. Judge. Mr. Carter, the law exists to guide us. But sometimes, humanity must guide the law. Every person in the courtroom leaned forward. Judge. This court finds you not guilty, not just because of what you did, but because of who you showed yourself to be. Daniel lowered his head, as relief washed over him like a wave. But then the judge added something no one expected. Judge. And I want you to know, you saved more than one life that morning. You saved faith. Faith in kindness. Faith in courage. Faith in people. Daniel's eyes filled again, not with fear, but with gratitude. Ending, 7:31 to 8 o'clock, emotional closure. Narrator. In a world where the law can feel cold and life can feel unfair, this courtroom saw something extraordinary. A reminder that compassion still exists. A judge who chose understanding. A man who chose bravery. A moment that proved justice is not only in rules written on paper, but in the hearts of people who choose to do what's right. If this story moved you, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more real stories, where humanity and justice meet.